Hey everyone, in this video I just wanted to show you a fix for a CRC error, basically a WDT timeout, without actually changing the battery. If you just Google that and search for a fix, you will always see that you have to change the battery, but that's not necessary. And in this video I'm just going to show you how you can fix this without changing the battery. So actually you will notice this error when your battery indicator has just been stuck. So in this case I stuck at 8% and your iPhone will just reboot randomly sometimes. Well, to really make sure it's a CRC or WDT error, just go to settings, privacy, I guess, I don't know what that is in English, diagnostics and usage, go to the data, and there you will see some panic entries. Those are the panic entries. Just hit one and there you can see WDT timeout here at the very first one. So in this case it's a WDT timeout, and it's most likely the battery. If you do have a CRC error, it's definitely the battery. So maybe I can show you how it randomly reboots. Okay, well this time I really can't get it just to reboot randomly, but that's not that much a problem. As you can see, battery percentage still is at 8%. It won't change, reboot it, so that's basically a sign for it too. So if we just reboot the phone, let's just reboot it. Alright. Okay, let's just reboot it. If the battery percentage will just change after rebooting it, that indicates pretty much such an error as well. So let's just try to get it. Alright, and as we can see, it finally booted up, and now the battery has changed. The battery indicator, we are now at 5%. That's not that much a change, but as you can see it just changed after rebooting it. Okay, but let's just get started. So the first thing you're going to do to fix this error without actually changing the battery is just turn the phone off. So let's just turn it off till it's finally off. Alright, I guess it's turned off. And then just remove the display or the back cover. It depends on what iPhone you're using. This method does work for every iPhone, every iOS version. It really doesn't matter. But just you know, how to open this thing up is different. In this case it's an iPhone 4S and you just have to remove the back cover. I did already remove the screw, so I can just simply open it up like that, and as you can see now, there is the battery. And actually the main battery cell, the chemical cell as it is, isn't the problem, and that's why it doesn't make sense to change it. I mean, you can fix it by changing it, but you know, it's not necessary, so I wouldn't recommend it. So the first thing you're going to do is remove the screws of the battery connector. So those two basically, I already did that as well. If you've done that, just remove the metal shield of the battery connector. Alright, so as you can see, I'm now able to remove it, and it has just been removed, and then just pull the battery out like this. In my case it's pretty easy because I already did that before, so the glue over here isn't that strong anymore. But yeah, when you just have the battery, you basically have to unwrap it, or kinda unwrap it, because it's just wrapped in some kind of foil. And I already did that with this one as well, so it looks pretty much, you know, it's pretty easy and looks a bit, as you can see, not that new. But alright, so for this battery it's pretty easy. You just really have to remove or kind of unwrap the very first layer here, and then it should look like something like this. There you see it. Alright, and I do have another battery here as well. There it looks like this, and what we basically need are those both contacts. And because the problem is not the main battery cell, as I just said, the problem actually is this part over here. So I guess it's actually this chip, this IC over here. Oh, does that work? Come on, focus. Alright, this chip over here, because it just measures basically the inner resistance of the battery. It measures the current and the voltage to basically get the resistance of the battery, and this is necessary to tell the exact charge basically. And because this IC, you know, is always turned on because it's always connected to the battery, it does always measure. Sometimes it shouldn't happen, but sometimes it does happen. It will just get stuck, and if this IC basically got stuck, you will get such an error because no data of the charge, no charge information is being transmitted to the phone. So what we need to do is just to short circuit those two contacts, because the short circuit basically will let the voltage drop down to 0. And the IC will quickly won't have any power, and this will basically reset it. So let's just do this. Okay, so just use any kind of cable, but do not use those I don't know what they're called as their original, because they got iron wires and they are pretty much shitty because the resistance of those is too high to really short circuit this battery. And with this part, just be really careful. You just have to short circuit for like 1 second, because it's not good for the main battery cell to do it, but you know, it will just basically reset this part. So let's just quickly do this. As you can see, it does you know, spark a bit, but that's okay. And after you're done with that, just check if there comes any voltage out, and that's what I'm just going to do. As you can now see, no voltage is coming out of it, basically, not even the slightest. So you just have to measure those contacts here behind the actual circuit. So if no voltage is coming out, your iPhone won't work with it. That's because it doesn't even detect the battery. So what we have to do is just manually charge it just a bit, and it's basically pretty easy. I actually recommend a bench supply to do this and just give it 4.2 volts. But you can just use such a cheap thing as this one as well, and just set it to 4.5 or 3 volts, something low as this. And let's just give it some voltage. You can use 5 volts from USB or a phone charger too if you want to do this. Let's just do it quickly. So here we have our 4.5 volts. Let's just quickly give it to the battery, and as you can see, I can now disconnect the power source basically, and it will still have 3.8 volts. So the battery is now turned on, or the battery you know, circuit, and everything should be fine now. So I can just put it back in the iPhone and everything should work. Okay, now the battery is back inside of the phone, and let's just turn it on, and then we will have a look if everything just works again. So, alright, and remember, this does work for every iPhone, every iPad, every iPod Touch even. It really doesn't matter, I gotta say, any iOS device. And yes, you don't have to replace the battery. That's the cool thing about it, but it's a little difficult. So if you don't have any idea what I did, you should really replace the battery, because this is way easier, you know. But with this method, you don't have to buy a new battery. Let's just... Okay, there it is. As you can now see, the battery percentage even got at 25%, pretty high. If you just get such a high battery percentage after it, or I gotta say, such a difference, it definitely worked, and you will see that you can now, you know, there you go. There you just see the battery percentage actually change. So it doesn't stuck anymore. It just works perfectly fine. So this is the ultimate fix for it. You can now just, you know, put your phone back together and everything does work. So thanks for watching. I hope I could help you, and bye bye.